I watched the new Wonder Woman movie yesterday only because I heard it was bad. It was horrible. The new Wonder Woman movie may have been one of the worst movies I've seen. And well, let me be clear. We watch a lot of bad like movies, so but my point is one of the worst big budget movies I've seen. It was terrible. And I like the first one. But I mean 2.5 hours of unadulterated fucking bullshit. It may be worse than the Justice League movie. It may be worse than Batman versus Superman. It's all over the place. It's a fucking all over the place. Anybody that says to you that it was a good movie is lying to you. It is one of the lowest rated DC movies on IMDb right now. It is. But here, look. This let me show you what Rotten Tomatoes is doing now. So when you go to Rotten Tomatoes, let me show you their little fucking game. Let me show you their little, oh my God, enable ads for Rotten Tomatoes. Oh my God. So fuck, on top of all that, I have to enable ads on Rotten Tomato. Fine, whatever. I don't care. So check this out. So you go to Rotten Tomatoes, tomato meter. Critics 63% say, so it's fresh. 63% say they like it. 72% say, audience says they like it. Now you wonder, you think to yourself, you go, how can it be rated so low on IMDb, but now the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 72%? I was thinking that too. I was like, that's fucking odd. That doesn't make sense. Then I realized something. Rotten Tomatoes is doing something with the audience score. It's called verified audience score. Now, if you switch from verified audience score to all audience, it's at 43%. There is a 30% difference between verified audience and all audience. Look at the difference. And now I'm wondering, what does verified audience score mean? Well, verified audience is something that Rotten Tomatoes put in place after the Captain Marvel movie. It was put in place last year. After the Captain Marvel, all the male trolls were putting that movie down. It wasn't because the movie was terrible and fucking sucked. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. But no, it was because of trolls. So verified audience, and I looked into this. So verified audience, what it means is you have to prove that you have a ticket to the movie. So you have to become a verified audience score. You have to take a picture of the ticket, send it in, and then of that movie, then you're a verified audience for that movie, and then your score counts towards the verified score. The verified score is the one they show. You have to go in deep to find the all audience score. Like you have to click it, and then you have to go 3 clicks in to find the all audience score. The one that Rotten Tomatoes shows is verified audience. So you have to show, because they're saying, people that don't watch the movie are rating it. Here's the problem. A couple things. Oh, and if you buy the movie with the Fandango app, which is owns Rotten Tomatoes, Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, the same company. After you watch the movie with Fandango, it prompts you to rate it on Rotten Tomatoes, and it counts as a verified audience. Now, I found a little flaw in this system. Wonder Woman's a perfect example. Wonder Woman didn't just come out in theaters. No, it didn't. Remember something? Wonder Woman came out on HBO Max. So there's a lot of people that watch this movie that don't have a ticket stub, that just watch the movie on HBO Max. I would gather the majority of people that watch this movie didn't watch it in a theater. Didn't watch it in the theater. So again, Rotten Tomatoes is trying to fucking the curb trolls. But the reality is the movie's fucking terrible. And the reality is, if I was, the real score should probably be 43%, probably lower. I think it's worse than 43% positive, but whatever. So the system is already fucked up with this, because the whole like, oh, if you have a ticket, it doesn't matter. All right. So anyway, the movie is really bad. And again, every time you criticize a female superhero movie, right? Every time you criticize a female super movie, or anytime you criticize, forget female superhero movie, anytime you criticize a female movie, they say it's because you just fucking hate women. But again, not true. This movie, I liked the first Wonder Woman movie. I gave a good review when I reviewed. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. This movie is all over the place. You could tell there were reshoots. It's, guys, I'm saying, mind you, 2.5 hours long. The verified audience trick gets Rotten Tomatoes a nice little bonus from production companies every time a bad movie comes out. Yep. Think of it this way. If Fandango owns Rotten Tomatoes, which Fandango's that service you could buy tickets online, it would behoove them that the movies would be rated higher, so more people would go into the app and buy tickets for the movie. I mean, think about it. If movies are rated, people are going to go watch the movies. So again, Rotten Tomatoes has been compromised for a while. It used to actually be pretty good in terms of many years ago. It's been compromised for a while, but Rotten Tomatoes is fucking bullshit. Again, the all audience score is 43%, and they want to say that it's it's fucking trolls. It's every time a fucking female movie flops, it's trolls. So I think Patty Jenkins, that's the female director that did the first one. She also did the second one. And I thought I was really wondering, I was like, how is it that the first one was a good movie, and it was, and the second one was so bad, and it's the same person that did it, you know? For example, if you look at the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, they're all pretty good. Some people have their favorite ones, of course, but you could, in my opinion, of course, everyone has different ones, but in my opinion, if you look at all three of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, you're like, wow, all of these movies are good. Everyone has a favorite one. I understand. But the quality in all the movies are good. I'm like, man, these are good movies. I like them. For superhero movies, not fucking Citizen Kane or anything. But, which, again, overrated. But I digress. I realized something. The first movie was written by 3 men. Zack Snyder being one of them, and 2 other people. This movie was just written by her, by Patty Jenkins. So she got all this praise for the Wonder Woman movie, and she figured, I got this. I fucking got it. I fucking got this movie. And I'm going to tell you this. You don't have to believe me. If you have 2.5 hours to waste, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of a couple things that you should expect that I want you to understand from this movie, okay? You're supposed to believe that Kristen Wiig is hot. All right? Pedro Pascal, who I think is great, is playing Max Lord. And you could tell that half of his character was just trying to take shots at Orange Man Bad, making fun of Trump. You could tell, because they can't understand something. They can't help themselves. They fucking cannot help themselves. And then Pedro Pascal's accent's all over the place because, you know, half of the movie he's doing a Hispanic accent, but the other half of the movie he's just doing a straight up American accent. And it's just, again, all over the place. They shoehorn Chris Pine in there. And I'm going to say this. And by the way, You don't have to believe me. So I'm going to say a couple things here. They might be spoilers. So look, if you really, really want to see this movie and you love it, hey man, I understand. Go away for 10 minutes because I'm going to talk about it because I need to talk about it. Okay? So I'm just letting you know. I can't imagine anybody watching gives a shit if this is spoiled. I just can't imagine that it matters to you, but whatever. And I'm not making this up. People are going to think that I'm being a dick or I'm just trying to fucking be funny. This next statement I'm saying, I'm not making it up. Wonder Woman literally somebody in the movie. Wonder Woman somebody in the movie. It's not a lie. If a man did what Wonder Woman did, there would be Me Too articles and Variety articles, and you would not hear the end of it. I'll explain. You don't see her having sex, so don't even get excited for that. In the first movie, Chris Pine, which his name's Steve, I think. Chris Pine's character dies, right? Because, whatever's World War I. Now, apparently Wonder Woman doesn't age. So now we're in 1984, okay? The movie has this, wishing stone, which, again, makes no sense. For the one thing I'm surprised about this movie is, for a movie that was 2.5 hours long, they did a terrible job of explaining anything in the movie. I don't know how you could make a 2.5 hour movie and not explain anything that's going on in it. I didn't understand what was happening. And again, it's a comic book movie. This isn't highbrow shit, folks. This is pretty simple. It should be pretty simple stuff explained. So anyway, this is Wishing Stone. Steve, Chris Pine, the character from the first movie, he's dead, right? Fine. Whatever. She wishes that he were to come back. That's her wish. She wants him back. That's her love. She loves this guy. Chris Pine's character, she loves him. She wants him to come back. Fine. Her wish is granted. She comes back. He comes back, excuse me. But he doesn't just appear and come back, right? So she has this wishing stone, right? Wonder Woman has this wishing stone. She wishes for Chris Pine's character, who died in the first one, to come back because she loves him. Fine. His brain goes into the consciousness of another person, some John Smith, who's living in the 80s. Now, everybody else, when they look at John Smith, they see John Smith, but not her. When she looks at him, she sees Chris Pine. Okay? Fine. They even point out the fact that Chris Pine knows he's in somebody else's body. He's in his apartment. They make all these jokes about it. Whatever. He's in his apartment. They make all these jokes about it. Fine. Now, they have sex. You could tell because the next morning they're in bed together and they fuck. They fucked. They literally fucked, okay? They fucked in the movie. Now, the guy that Chris Pine took over, John Smith, didn't have any consent, didn't have any say in it at all. She just fucked him. He did not consent to having sex with her. He did not give his okay. And I understand. It's Gal Gadot. Who would say no? I agree with you. I wouldn't complain. But I'm just pointing out that if this movie was a dude and wanted to if this was Captain America and he wanted to bring up fucking whatever her fucking name is back and she inhabited somebody else's body, right? and she fucked him, this would be a humongous deal. Now, mind you, I'm not offended. Obviously, it's a movie. I don't care. You know I don't care. You know I could give a flying fuck about it. I don't give a flying fuck about it. But I'm just pointing out the double standard. I'm pointing out, can you imagine if this was the other way around? So, all I'm saying is that in this movie, using the Me Too movement and the women and the Time's Up and using their terminology, she raped a dude. She raped a dude. Now, let's point that out there. Now, so something else I want to point out, okay? Something else I want to point out. The Kristen Wiig's storyline in the movie. Again, if you want to watch it, you could skip. If you want, fine, but you're gonna hate it anyway. Kristen Wiig's character is, and I shit you not, is Michelle Pfeiffer's character from Batman Returns. I mean, paint by fucking numbers, okay? She's a nerdy, she's your, dude, it had every cliche you could think of. She's a nerdy girl, you know, like, you know, so we're to believe that Kristen Wiig and Wonder Woman are I like some sort of archaeologist or something, or some sort of historical scientist. I mean, what, something to that effect, right? Something to that effect. And Kristen Wiig's character is this nerdy, is like, oh, I'm this nerdy cat. Look at me, I'm a fucking nerd. Oh, man. And she just wants to be like Gal Gadot's character, you know? Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm so nerdy. Oh. So when she touches the wishing stone, again, fucking terrible. She touches the stone or whatever. She becomes hot. That's right. Then she becomes hot, Kristen Wiig. And guess what? She doesn't need her glasses anymore. Just like Michelle Pfeiffer, just like fucking Peter Parker, the whole like, I guess I don't need these glasses anymore. And now I'm hot. And now I'm hot, Kristen Wiig. I think her name's Barbara in the movie. Look how hot I am. Oh yeah, and she can't walk in heels initially, but she can. The other thing I want to point, so again, that story plot line is just fucking brutally bad. Okay? Fine. There is a scene with, for no reason at all, they just shoehorn this scene, and you guys are going to, when I watched it, I was just like, I was in awe, going like, wow, they are not trying. So Marie's right. She goes, I wish to be Gal Gadot and I turned into a cheetah. Fucking exactly. What the fuck? By the way, CGI worse than fucking Cats. Look, this is her when she finally turns into a cheetah. There it is. So you can see the really great graphics. Look at that. Oh, wow. There she is as a cheetah. So anyway. So with that, there's that. Okay. The other thing I'm trying to understand. Wonder Woman, empowered woman, and all this stuff. When Wonder Woman turns into, when Diana Prince is in her Wonder Woman outfit or whatever, she's wearing like heels. Like, you know, like, she's wearing heels. And I'm like, that is not conducive for crime fighting. You would be wearing flats. Now, I know why they do it. They do it to make her look more imposing, all right? I get why they do it, all right? couple other things in the movies that I wanted to point out that I thought was just fucking so bad. So there was a scene when Chris Pine's character, who is a pilot, okay? Who is a pilot, him and Wonder Woman steal a jet. Now, keep in mind, a couple things here. Chris Pine's character in the first movie was a World War I pilot. So you know what kind of planes he flew, all right? He was able to fly a modern 1984 fighter jet that uses computer avionics and stuff. Whatever. Fine. It's a comic book movie. Fine. But then they're flying, and then, of course, the genius hero, he's for World War I pilot. It's like, oh, they're not going to be able to fly me the way I fly. And then she remembers, while they're already taking off, oh, that's right, they have a thing called radar now. Again, could have told them that earlier. But whatever. Fuck it, didn't. They get on the plane, and they're like, oh, no, how they're going to find us. And then she just puts her hands together, right? And she goes, oh, by the way, 2 minutes to it, not even 30 seconds to explain a humongous plot point that they did in this. Oh, my father hid the island, Themyscira, by making it invisible, and I've been working on doing it. And I made a coffee cup invisible once. And then she just puts her hands together, and she just has this new power, by the way, that she's never had in any comic book, in any movie, in the Linda Carter TV show. It doesn't fucking matter. Any fucking Wonder Woman. And she uses the power, and she was able to turn the jet invisible. Now, Wonder Woman did fly an invisible jet in the Super Friends and all that stuff, but the jet was just an invisible jet. She turned the jet invisible. Like, she just had this power that came out of nowhere, and she turned the jet invisible. Again, 2.5 hour movie. They didn't spend any time building up to any of these new powers. Also, whenever you make a fucking wish on the fucking wishing stone or whatever, whenever you make a wish on the wishing stone, it grants your wish, but it takes something from you, right? Like, that's the, I don't know, that's the fucking thing, okay? So what it takes from her is, you would think it takes her power, right? But it doesn't really take her power. It weakens her. Like, her powers throughout the whole movie are very, very inconsistent, right? They're very, very inconsistent. Where powers are supposedly go away a little bit, but not completely. Like, she could still run super fast, and she could still, like, push cars and stuff. But now bullets hurt her, and I guess before bullets didn't hurt her. By the way, something else I got to bring up. The CGI, and if you've seen this movie, please back me up on this. The CGI in this is like CW level CGI, Smallville level CGI. Like, the CGI looked fucking terrible. It's like they did the CGI in 1984. So, again, just fucking one of the worst things I've seen. There's more. I'm not done. I watched this, and if you're not going to watch it, you at least need to suffer a little bit with me. This is Pedro Pascal as Max Lord, the Donald Trump of the story, okay? The Donald Trump of the story. He's the evil businessman. He's the bad guy. That's him holding the wishing stone, which looks like a fucking vibrator, or dildo at least. His storyline is all over the place. He's like some business guy who's, was a Ponzi scheme, and he wishes that he, okay, so here's the thing. Again, 2.5 hour movie, they don't really explain any of that. But What his wish is, it just in case you're wondering, like, oh, maybe you're just fucking, oh, you're just saying that they're trying to make it be like Trump. It's not like they. Oh, wait, what's this? This is an actual scene from the movie. All right. Presidential shield standing in front of it and everything. So anyway, he wishes that he was the wishing stone, which I guess you could do that. I guess the wishing stone in the fucking thousands of years that this wishing stone's been around and all these people have used it, no one's ever thought, why don't I just become the wishing stone? Apparently, genies have stricter rules than this fucking wishing stone. So he became the wishing stone so he could grant wishes as long as he's touching people. He could grant wishes, okay? Yeah, I swear to God. So he gets into the White House, and I guess it's supposed to be Reagan, right? And he tells Reagan, well, what do you wish for, you know? And this is during the Cold War. And Reagan, because of course, it's just always evil, super fucking villain bullshit. Reagan wishes for not world peace, not to end communism, not for anything. What do you think Reagan wished for? Because, mind you, a woman wrote this. You have to keep this in mind. A woman wrote and directed this. What do you think Reagan wished for? If you know Ronald Reagan, what do you think he wished for? He didn't wish for infinite wishes. What do you think Reagan wished for Max Lord? No, I'm waiting. I'm going to see. What do you think? Not jelly beans would have been funny. That's right. More nukes. Reagan wished for more nukes. That was his wish. He could have anything that he wanted in the world. He could have ended the Cold War with one wish. He could have ended it. He could have ended it. And he wished for more nukes. And at one point in the movie, stupid Wonder Woman, fucking dumb bitch Wonder Woman, stops a heist or whatever. And she breaks the guns and then basically should have just looked at the camera and winked while she said it. It was like, I hate guns. You're literally fucking and raping a World War I guy who all he did was use guns. For whatever reason, in the movie, there's a line when they're in the invisible jet or whatever, and she wishes that she doesn't wish, you know, oh, by the way, when you make these wishes, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you this part of the movie. When you make these wishes, you could renounce them at any point. You could just renounce the wishes at any point you want. You could just renounce the wishes and say, oh, I didn't want that wish. I fucked up. So again, nothing like a genie. So she renounced the wishes. Chris Pine dies again or disappears again. Whatever. And then Wonder Woman learns, like, when the last, 10 minutes of the movie that she could fly, which would have been helpful throughout the other part of the movie, but whatever. But before she's flying, she's using her fucking lasso. And I swear to God, this is not a joke. And if you've watched this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. She's using the lasso like Spider-Man. Like she's whipping it on buildings and swinging like Spider-Man. I swear to God, like Spider-Man. So she's whipping it on buildings and just swinging with her lasso, right? And then at one point, she lassos a fucking plane, which by the way would fuck it up, but whatever. She gets up in the sky, and at one point, while she's lassoing things, and this is not a joke. Again, a woman wrote this. She lassos a cloud and is able to pull herself up from a cloud. Now, I don't know if you know this about clouds, okay? Because, I mean, I guess not everyone's a meteorologist like I am, I guess. But you cannot pull yourself up from water vapor or a cloud. You can't. It's a fucking cloud. But if you think her using the cloud to I swear to God this is real, to pull herself up, if you think that's bad, well, have I got news for you. She lassos a lightning bolt. And here's a picture of it. If you don't fucking believe me, that's fine. This is the picture of it. She lassos a goddamn lightning bolt, and she pulls herself on a lightning bolt. On my fucking life. On my life. There's the picture of it. I'm fucking not lying. There is no consistency. Beef true. Sick. It's fucking sick. Oh my God. But we're not done. No, we're not done with the terrible craziness of this movie. Oh no, we're not even close to done. Okay. Fucking sorry. It's just so much happens. So after she lassos herself to that, she goes back to Max Lord. And, he has all the wishing powers, whatever. So check out this plot point. So the wishing powers only work. The wishing powers only work if he's physically touching someone. So he has to be touching them for Max Lord, who is now the wishing stone. Keep up. Who is now the wishing stone. It only works when he's touching people. Well, guess what? When he goes to President Reagan's office, he tells him, is there a way I could talk to everybody on the planet? And Reagan's like, and check this out, 2.5 hour movie. This is a 1 second explanation. Wow, 30-second explanation. Reagan's like, well, we have something in the Star Wars system that lets us take over this is 1984 now, any electronic device, not just TVs, any electronic device in the world. It could take over any electronic device in the fucking world and broadcast their message. Doesn't make any sense, especially in 1984. You wouldn't be able to do that. And they explain it away with it's part of the Star Wars system, the system that Reagan had, the anti-nuke system. And when explaining it, Reagan goes, yeah, so these particles literally go down. We get these particles that literally go down into any electronics. And then Max Lord goes, wait a second. Are you saying that these particles are literally touching people? And Reagan's like, yeah, bro. I mean, obviously, I'm just paraphrasing. Yeah, bro. These particles are like literally touching people. Max Lord's like, yeah, very cool. I would take over the world, China. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what happens. So these particles on this made-up thing so fucking he goes into this TV studio that the president has in the Cheyenne Mountains, I believe. Okay. To the studio, and he starts broadcasting and asking everybody, oh, make your wish. What's your wish? And like fucking this Irish guy, so they go all over the world, and this Irish guy is like wishing like, oh, I wish you would die, to this shop owner because they're having an argument. And she goes, I wish they would round up people like you. Of course, it's an Irish guy. They would never have the balls to do that to any other nationality. So the cops are just rounding up Irish people in the UK, just rounding them up at one point. This woman wishes she was famous, and all of a sudden people start taking pictures of her. And there's all these wishes. There's all these wishes, all this. So obviously the world starts going into chaos. Now, Reagan wished for more nukes. So more nukes pop up on the grid. Russia sees it, and Russia's about to launch more nukes to the U.S. because it's, oh, man, you have more nukes. That's an act of aggression. So, of course, because women don't know how to write except being fucking childish, they don't know how to write except for being childish. The main villain is in Max Lord. It's nuclear war. Okay, so the nukes are going to go off all over the world. So remember, are you keeping up? Are you paying attention to what's happening in this story? I hope you're paying attention. Yes, Billy Nunez is right. Not only did Russia launch nukes, they launched nukes from downtown Moscow. So they show Moscow, and you see nukes just like popping. First off, they don't store their nukes in downtown Moscow. We don't store our nukes in New York City. Okay? 2.5 hours. So the only way for her to stop it is she has to make the entire world renounce their wishes because the world is going into chaos because everyone's getting what they wish for. So Max Lord is standing there and he's talking to the world and there he's listening to all their wishes or whatever. And then the lasso, this one, the one that lets you ride lightning bolts, okay? The one that lets you ride lightning bolts. She lassos his foot, and apparently the magic lasso, there's a new power that you find out in the last 2 minutes of the movie, can also, if you tie it to somebody, you could speak through somebody. So she's talking, she's having a little monologue and like telling people, everyone in the world, that they have to renounce their wishes, right? And guess what? Every single person on the planet who got everything they wished for, every single one of them renounced their wishes. They all renounced their wishes from evil Maxwell Lord. They all renounced their wishes because of lightning riding lady, okay? And then on top of all that, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, she does have a fight with Cheetah with Kristen Wiig, and it's one of the worst fight scenes I've ever seen, right? It's just a terrible fight scene. Apparently Wonder Woman also had this armor, like this gold armor, for whatever reason, that I don't know why. I mean, they kind of like, it's another thing that they kind of just mention in the movie. She has like this gold armor, and she's fighting Cheetah, Kristen Wiig's character, with this gold armor that has wings. By the way, at this point in the movie, the wings are worthless because she's already learned how to fly without the wings. But whatever. Now, Kristen Wiig renounces her fucking wish, and then she's fine. There's no repercussion. She turns human, and she's fine. All the people in the world renounce their wishes, and everything is fucking back to normal. Whatever. Maxwell Lord, who has a kid in this movie, he's a single dad, who has a kid in this movie, he also renounces his wishes because he loves his son. And there's a scene where the last 5 minutes of the movie where you have a fucking flashback to Maxwell Lord as a kid, and the reason that he was so mean and wanted to make these wishes was because his dad used to beat his mom. I don't know. His dad used to beat his mom. Maxwell Lord also never gets arrested. He never gets in trouble. So both of the main villains, Kristen Wiig, Cheetah, Maxwell Lord, Pedro Pascal, they don't even get arrested. They just, everything is fine and they move on. Now, to make things even worse, if you watch a Justice League movie, if you watch the Batman vs. Superman movie, Wonder Woman has a line where she says, I've stayed out of human affairs for over 100 years because of all of these terrible things that they did. Except for the fact that she didn't, because in the fucking 80s, she was literally fighting crime in a goddamn mall. So she's fighting crime in a mall, fucking beating up the worst henchmen, but beating up all these fucking henchmen in a mall, right? And on top of all that, in the Batman vs. Superman and Justice League movie, her name is Diana Prince. Her name in this is also Diana Prince. She's widely publicized. People have seen Diana Prince. She's a big scientist because women have to be scientists in movies because of some sort of insecurity that women directors have that they have to just fucking live vicariously through them. Whatever. I honestly don't even care about that. She's still going by the same name, Diana Prince. And nobody in like 50 years has asked, hey, wait a second, why the fuck is Diana Prince not aging? Why doesn't she age? Why is she fucking, because they don't know that she's Wonder Woman. Remember, keep in mind, they think Diana Prince is a separate person from Wonder Woman. They don't even know. So, it is one of the worst things I have ever seen. Ever. But again, I urge you to watch it. I urge you to watch the movie because number one, I don't want to suffer alone. Number two, the best thing that happened to this Wonder Woman movie, the very best thing that happened to the best thing that happened to this fucking Wonder Woman movie, okay, was COVID. It's the best thing that could have possibly happened. Why? Because this movie was going to fucking bomb if it was just at a theater. It was going to fucking bomb. But now they don't have to worry about it bombing because it came out on HBO Max, and HBO Max, they don't have to release their numbers. So it'll just be a commercial success because and then they'll just use the COVID as the reason. So that was my review of the Wonder Woman movie. I'm sorry that it's Jesus Christ, I went on for a while, but I gotta understand. I was screaming at the screen going, what is this? This is fucking terrible. What the actual fuck is this shit?